Let's see if I can get this like I want it. Lighting on. Okay. All right, folks, here we go. On the working of the Fairy Mushroom House. All right, finally, huh? And I'm trying not to sneeze throughout this thing. I told you. I'm still struggling with the not feeling great. But here we go, and let's go from there. And let me flip my camera around so we can get to working on this. All right. I know everyone's excited to be here for sure. All right. Give me just 1 second here. I'll sit you just like that. Right on top of it. Thought I had this set, but apparently I didn't. Welcome in, everybody. Sorry it's a little fuzzy on the camera for a moment. Give me just 1 second here. Wow. Camera arm issues. Welcome in. If you're in here, welcome in. So I'm sorry I disappointed everybody last night and the other night. I can't help that. Doing the best I can, dealing with the snow, the ice, and my health. So, all right. Yeah. I'm hoping that's going to hold it here. Sorry about that. Welcome in. I see there's someone else in here besides myself. Don't forget to thumb up and like the live. I'm Organic Silver Moon Designs. I'm a jewelry and a canvas artist, and we are working on this fairy house here. Hey, Will Hat, welcome in. Can you hear me okay? You're the first to show up. Miracles never cease. Can you tell me you can hear me? Tell me you can hear me, Will Hat. Would be great. Just say, yes, I can hear you, Lydia. All right. So we got a bunch of little things to work on here. And I am going to have to, thank you. I am going to have to see about getting a new arm. This is crazy. My arm, I think, has just had it. So, there we go. Thank you so much. I appreciate you being here, Will Hat. I know you've been struggling too with your health. So, wow. Hopefully you can see that okay. That was about the best tree bottom I did over here on the left of this. Over here on the left, because I was able to get the grooves in there. Wow. I'm just trying to get this adjusted. Sorry about that. As I wobble you around here. Wow. I'm wondering. Wow. Can't seem to get this arm to stay, so we'll see how it does. All right. There isn't a whole lot left to do, folks, other than getting the resin on here. These have all been baked and they're done, all the little mushrooms. So I'm going to be probably using 2-part resin on this. Not real happy that my trees want to keep falling over, but this cold weather doesn't help. I told you before, anyone that knows me off the camera, how I have an issue in the studio with coldness here. Cold, not the best friend of paints or clays. All right. Alrighty. So I wanted to use my UV resin, but I don't know if I have enough left in this one. So I may end up having to do it in 2 parts. Aha. And look at that. That window just popped right out, folks. So much for the window factor on one side. Oh well. Let's just keep punning away here. And thanks for being here, Wohat. I really appreciate it. I really do. Thank you for the time. Thank you for all the people that are here. Don't forget to thumb up and like the live, folks. It says there's like 6 to 13 people here. So hopefully we'll get some thumbs up in here like I need. Alrighty. So I'm going to be using some really metallic-y looking paint here. Kind of dress this up a little. The mushrooms. Hopefully this will work. We want it to look kind of natural, but not all natural. So we're just doing that. Nothing fancy. Just a little shininess in there. Can everybody see this okay? I can't even tell if you can see it all right. Thanks for the thumbs up, everybody. I appreciate that. I really do. And again, I apologize. Couldn't help it for not being able to be here last night. So we're just trying to jazz this mushroom up a little bit right here. Hopefully everybody can see that. If you can't see it, just tell me and I will move it. I'm not sure what you can or can't see because of my arm. I mean, my camera arm. Wow. All right. I'm going to turn it around. And by the way, I found out there really are yellow mushrooms, but I never knew that. How's everybody doing tonight? Thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. And we're just doing some touch-ups here, and then I'm going to do hopefully some resin work here and some more hard glue down work to make sure this stays. Wow. I don't think my resin brush likes the paint too much, but that's the one I grabbed. Okay. We got one more around here to get. Oops. Try not to hit the camera here too while I'm doing this. This, by the way, is an acrylic paint. It's a metallic gloss finish, a green. Pull out a bit. That's what I was wondering. I was trying. That's what I said about my arm. Wow. I'm literally holding that. See? Let's try that. Whoa. Is that a little better? I'm having to rest this on my... Rest it on the table because it's that janky, my arm right now. That's holding the camera. Okay. Nice thick coat here. And then I'm going to rub this so it's smooth. That's better. Good. Sorry about that, Will Hat. Ah. Okay. Now. All right. Wow. Not too bad there, but it definitely needs that other side coated and covered. This one too. About that. Wow. I need that kind of thick there on that one side because of the mushroom being a little burnt. Thanks everybody for the thumbs up. Please remember to thumb up and like the live. And don't forget to hang around. Can use the watch time too, folks. Hopefully we don't have too much scrolling. It'll be mostly people that are my regulars that come to kind of finish this up with me. All right. And I am looking for what I'm going to actually mix this resin in once I get this completed. I'm going to use the razor here. I'm reaching around everything to get to it. I'm actually rounding my camera to get around this camera. Wow. You can tell it's cold because this clay is really hard to cut. Sorry about that. How's everybody doing tonight? I know we can't have any music or anything thanks to the tube being the way it is. Can't make anything any more exciting because they're so, what is the word for it? So many copyright issues. I was trying to see, have I got this backwards? Maybe. I think I do. But you can't see all the mushrooms. So we'll turn it this way. Move that back a little. Okay. There we go. We're going to make some little stones here to come out from the door. I hope. Sorry, it's not my best work, but that's okay. All right. And this clay is really hard because it's so cold. You know, I don't know how to do that. Okay. So if you do, tell me. Let's see if I can get these to kind of squish them together. Nice bright colors here. Primary almost, huh? Yeah, I'm going to have to do this off of here because that is not going to work. See if I can get this warm enough. Thanks everybody for the thumbs up and stuff. And thank you for the people hanging out and watching. Don't forget to thumb up the live. I really appreciate it. It does help. There is more content coming. We're just finishing up this 2-part of the 6-part fairy house that should have been finished before. And I understand some people had some kind of snotty remarks to make in my last live that I didn't catch, but my moderator did. Caught what was said, so that we'll know who they are. Okay. Thanks everybody for being here. I really appreciate it. This clay is just as hard as it can be because it is cold. And I did warm the rest of the house up. Well, it still didn't help. Did not help, I'm telling you. And we're just getting these little grooves in here. Kind of give it some texture. Nice bright yellow here. I think the next time I ever do this, I'm definitely going to be seeing about more natural colors than this. This is not my favorite, but it's okay. It's not bad. I mean, come on, it's supposed to be fun. I'm just trying to get this to mesh down on here without it cracking every second. Thanks so much for everybody being here. I really appreciate it. Okay. And we're going to where is my green at? I have more green paint, just not the green I want here. I want a darker green, but this will do. Oh, okay. I got you, Wilhud. I got you. I did not. I mean, I know they have it, but there's not too many great music of it, but they do have it. Trying to see how this screen is going to look. Thought it was darker than this by this. Yeah, it's not as dark as I want it. That's not going to work. That's not going to work, folks. So let me see if I can, maybe this was the green I used before, and I'm looking right at it and don't even know it's here. All right, so we're just going to pour some of this in here. Even the paint is cold. It's matte acrylic. There we go. Wow. Get a cap on this so I don't knock it over. It's terrible music. Exactly. Can't play any one-hit wonders, that's for sure. That is for sure. Okay. All right. I am taking a piece of copper wire that I'm going to try to use as like that. Uses a small little handrail there is what I'm trying to do, if you wondered. Sorry. How's everybody doing tonight? Looks like I may have lost a few people, but that's okay. And Launch was supposed to be here tonight too, but I don't see him. Okay. Wow. There we go. I may have to move this in order to do the rails on this. Move it out of the way. Set it back over here and there. I got paint all over. And we're going to take a few strips of this blue. I'm just tearing it roughly because it's going to wrap around this metal here. Like this. And as I said, my clay is cold. I can tell by the way it's operating. How's everybody doing tonight? Thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. I really do. I'm just trying to texture this on here and get it around here so it will grab onto this wire that we're going to use to make like a handrail coming out of the little fairy house. Wow. This stuff is really, it's either super hard or super soft, one or the other. There's no in between, unfortunately, right now. I'm just trying to kind of smush that up there, see if I can get this clay to go right up into this. There we go. Kind of boring, isn't it? But it's okay. It's fun. It's terrible music, huh? Well, that's what I thought too. But thank you, everybody, for being here. Don't forget to speak up and say hi. It's not just thumbs up, but your interaction in the room too that helps. Okay, so we're gonna see. Gotta get. I'm looking for, yep, this stuff. The Magic Bacon Bond Sculpty. Okay, I'm gonna bring this back over here. I may have to move those back a little further, even further than I thought. I shouldn't have put them down right away. Big mistake. Oh well, that's what the green paint's for. Okay. I'm just covering up this yellow here, because I need to make this little walk pathway a little longer than what it is. It actually will probably look really nice once it gets sealed and everything. Let's see if I can. I'm moving everything off of my oven over here, because I'm going to put this in there with some I can get it to come on with some UV resin. Okay, just a second here. Sorry for that. Gotta go over here to the UV oven lights, folks. Thank you for your patience. Okay. Thanks for being here, everybody. I really appreciate it. Remember, if you hang out, it helps with the watch time, too. Don't just come in, thumb it up, and leave. It's kind of less purpose to it, or purposeless, something like that, purposeless. It doesn't work that way. That's why I try to hang out in whoever's live as long as I can, because I know they get watch time from it as well. Okay, so let's see. I'm trying to find the cord to my oven here. Yep. And down the back she goes. I gotta find a way to have more extensions for this. There we go. Now hopefully I can get my oven light on. There we go. You guys will get an idea about what I'm doing with the oven light. Wow. All right, so we're going to be putting some UV resin on this little handrail that we're making. Right here. And UV resin is here. I'm going to take another brush and paint that on to the little rail here. And then we're going to put it in the UV oven light. And of course, this brush will be history once I use it like this. Whoa. And I have a little yellow mixed in here too, yellow and green and this blue. So hopefully it'll kind of match. Whoops, right up in your faces there with that. Okay, and then that is going in there like that. I'm going to hopefully get my hands cleaned away with some of this. That's going to be in there for about, I don't know, 20 minutes maybe, so that the resin will harden up on it. And it'll give it a little bit of a shine. It is just UV resin, hard resin, that I'm using on the arm rail that's going to go off the little house. Thanks for all the thumbs up. I really appreciate it, people. Okay. Get back here on this other brush here. Be careful here. I don't want to get paint or UV resin on the camera. All right. Trying to see what you can see, what you can't see. Oh, my light went out. It's got to come back on. There we go. Oh, we need this color because this is what we're doing the mushrooms. Wow. Very, very bright. How's everybody doing tonight? And it is very, very cold where I'm at, and I understand we are getting another bout of bad weather. ASAP, apparently. I'm just getting these painted up here, the little mushrooms. I'm going to turn this around because the mushroom in the very, very back has also got to be colored. It's almost sitting on top of that one. We'll get it painted and then we'll move it back. There we go. And a little more green on this one here. Hopefully everybody can see. Let's see what we got going on here. Oh. Need to bring some water in here. I didn't think about it. These brushes. Just gonna wipe them off. Thanks for all the thumbs up. I really appreciate it. Okay. Now we're gonna get some green, dark green down here on the edges and bottoms of these mushrooms, and a couple of the trees that still need to be touched up while that little handle's in there in the UV oven setting with UV resin. I know it's probably hard to see. It keeps wanting to keep turning off. Okay. Just getting the bottom of these so they mesh in with the grass and stuff. There we go. Anything that's got white on it that needs to be covered up because it's showing through. Thank you everybody for being here. Thank you for hanging out and watching me get this little fairy mushroom house hopefully into some kind of order here. All right. Thanks for all the thumbs up. Thanks for the people who are hanging out in the room or at least drinking coffee and sitting to the side waiting for me to accomplish even more. Okay. Alrighty. Now, I'll turn this over in this oven so it gets on both sides there for that little arm rail. Wow. And this yellow clay is so hard. It's ridiculous that we're putting down for the stones. Thank you everybody for being here. Thank you for all the thumbs up. I really appreciate it. I do. There'll be more exciting stuff coming. I just wanted to get this close as I can to being finished. And so this hopefully will be the last part. So the worst to sit through is right now that you have to sit through this. And I appreciate that. But it's okay. Boy, that is really unbelievable. That clay in this cold air is part of the problem. So let's see here. I'm looking for, if folks are wondering what I'm up to, I'm looking for hot air gun. Whoops. Yep, and we're going to make some noise, so get ready. Here it comes now. You got headphones, turn them down. Trying to dry up what I just painted down here a little. You can see it as it dries too, because it gets duller, because it is a matte finish. Same thing for the little mushrooms. Sorry for the noise. Hopefully it's not too bad. Thank you everybody for being here. I really appreciate that. And I appreciate the support. Using the sheet gun to set the paint and all that on it. And the clay. It's that clay hot, I'm going to tell you that, when it sets. Sorry for the noise. It's the only way I can get it to set up. But it's going to look pretty cool when it's done. Alright. And I just noticed that this tree here has a bunch of white on it. Of course, my whole top here is just a living mess in here. I hadn't straightened it out since the last time I came back in here. Hi, Audrey. Nice to see you. Thank you for being here. I guess I'm getting your name correctly. If I'm not, I apologize. Okay. Just getting some of this white touched up here that's not covered with the matte green, which is nothing but folk art. Matte acrylic folk art green. Trying to get this over here. My cat, Boss Kitty, is in the background, crawling across my almost to the ceiling bookshelf. And I even have cat hair here. That's free of charge, by the way, the cat hair. Okay, we're just touching up these trees that have white on them that need to be covered with the matte folk art green. All right, how's everybody doing tonight? I'm Organic Silver Moon Designs. I'm a jewelry and a canvas artist. It's not some of my best work, but it's okay. I started it. I intend on finishing it. So, oops. Let's see, I got a white spot back there too. I have to keep turning this, just in order to catch all the spots that I miss. Thank you everybody for being here. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to thumb up the live, like, subscribe, and share. There's more stuff coming. I do a lot of jewelry work and hand hammer work, and I do artist work too on the canvas, and I sketch and I draw and I paint. This was supposed to be a fun thing and turned out to be much longer than I ever expected it to be or wanted it to be. But that is how it is. So I'm doing my best to get this where I can have it where it's almost finished, guys. And girls. Thank you so much for being here. Don't forget to thumb up and like the live. And make sure you say hello so I know you're here. I really appreciate everyone being here. Okay, just a second here. I need a big plastic cup. Or I'm going to have to mix it in these little cups. If I have to, I have to. I'll do it. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're doing 2-part resin, so this takes 8 to 12 hours to set up. But it's okay. I'm waiting for this. It's still sticky. This is the arm thing we're doing here for down in front of it, and it's got UV resin on it, and it's under a UV lamp right now, where that's in there cooking in this oven. Thank you everybody for being here. I really appreciate it. Thanks for all the thumbs up. Don't forget to hang out and stay around so that what? We get some watch time in here. And also activity from everybody. Okay. So I'm going to be using part A and part B. This is 2-part resin. And I'm actually going to be putting it on the grass here where this is. And I'm also going to put it on the fairy house, but not tonight. It's impossible to do it tonight. Wow. I'm trying to get my resin open. Oh my goodness, there it comes. Yay. Finally. All right. Come on now. I heard it break loose. Why isn't it opening? Yeah, there we go. Wow. I've never had the resin come up in the cap before, but okay. So this resin, part A, resin art, it really isn't toxic. I don't care what people might say to you. They don't know what they're talking about because I'm using it. And I can't breathe in toxic stuff due to my asthma and everything else. Yeah. Sorry, I'm trying to get this other cap off of part A. Yeah. Wow. Give me a second, folks. I'm working on it. Wow, unbelievable. This should not be that hard to open. Wow. Okay. You can hear that noise in the background. It's me trying to get the cap off this Part A resin. Oh, Lord. Let's try this. This is what I'm trying to get the cap off of. Wow. I'm getting it. It's a pain in the butt, but I'm getting it. I wonder if anybody else ever had this issue besides me. Ow. Wow. Sorry, folks. Look at that. I got it off all right. Here's the piece that's under there. Oh my goodness. Wow. Unbelievable. Star, get off Mommy's chair. Us, kitty, get down. Wow. Sorry, folks. Trying to get this cap off. Unbelievable. This is expensive stuff, too. I don't know how the cap got sealed down on it. Somebody else say hello, so I know you're still in here. I see it. Looks like I have one person and 8 thumbs up, but I know that can't be right because I know better. Okay. So, wow. Wow, this is completely insane, folks. I'm trying to get this cap off. Sorry. Wow. I got it. It was not an easy task, folks. That thing, I had to chew it up to get it off there with the fork and stuff. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I'm going to have to see about getting another cap for that. So we're using part A and part B resin. We're going to be resining the grass and everything else on this to seal it. But I still have to mix it, and I'm having to use 4 cups to do it. So just pouring in this part. Whoa. Part B in that. We're going to pour in part A. Trying to make it where you guys will able to see what I'm doing. Here's part A. It's like 1 for 1 is normally how it does. I'm going to do that first before I do any other. And then it's going to use, once I get it in there, then I will mix it. But I'm going to have to pour it like this. Unbelievable. Even though it's 1 part to 1 part, I knew these little cups would not be big enough. Oh. So we're just going to mix that up just a little bit. But they say 3 minutes. I won't have to worry so much about bubbles on this because it's not truly going to show. You would have to worry about this if you were doing a jewelry one or something. So we're mixing part A and part B, the hardener. And it's usually 1 for 1. You can see it's starting to get cloudy. That's normal. That's what resin does. 2-part resin does is it gets cloudy as it's being stirred. All right, we're just stirring these up, getting them mixed. This other one here, same thing. How's everybody doing tonight? Anybody else getting snow and ice? We're supposed to get another bout here coming up. I'm not looking forward to that. So we're just getting this stirred in, hopefully. I don't know if you guys could even see what I was doing. Sorry. Stirring part A and part B resin art. A couple of minutes. This is a 2-part resin. The arm that I have for the little thing it's in the oven is a UV resin. Very different. And I'm using resin to seal this. So in the long run, it'll have like a forever life because of the resin. A little fairy faux mushroom house. Takes some patience doing this resin, I can tell you that right now. All right. Normally, like, I would use a lighter or something on this, but I don't have a lighter in here. So, come with some more heat gun noise, and not very long at that, because that will melt my cups. I'm just moving it on and off of it. Usually I have about 60-minute pot time, but not always. 30 minutes. I'm just going to let them sit there for a minute, folks. See if some of those bubbles settle down. Though we do have quite a few bubbles. Hopefully they will not show up because they're being put on this little green grass bottom over here. Hey Cindy, welcome in. Nice to see you. I see you said hi 3 times. Right on. Thank you for being here. Don't forget to thumb up the live and like it. And we're working on this Fairy Fae mushroom house. And I'm getting ready to move the whole mushroom house, folks, over here and set it over here because I'm getting ready to blow some of this off. I don't want to have to paint anymore because I don't want it wet. We're getting ready to pour resin on this. We're going to seal this with resin. It's a 2-part resin. So usually 8 to 12 hours setup time. Sorry if I knocked anybody out of you. You should still be able to see okay. Just let me know if you can't. Thank you for all the support. Don't forget to thumb up and like the live and hang out so I can get some watch time. So I'm trying to get this done. All right. Now, I'm using this fork as I did before. That's how we created this grass look. All right. Yellow off of here. Watch your ears, everybody. Heat guns coming. It's hot. That's why that's doing that. Alright. So a little more on this resin. I don't want to be too close on it. I'm just trying to knock some of the bubbles out. going to, or literally going to pour this resin on the grass, folks. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Thank you for your thumbs up. Thank you for all the support. Here we go, folks. And I'm going to use a brush once I get this poured on how I like it. I'm going to use a brush across this. All right. It will clear up once it dries. And like I said, 8 to 12 hours for this stuff to cure, folks. It doesn't cure fast, two-part. I'm just getting it all over here. And then I'll work on the fairy house separate once I get this covered. Whoops. It looks like a bunch of goop, but trust me, when it hardens, it will not look that way. It will not look that way. It'll look more like glass. But it will seal this in so it doesn't come apart. Just remember, if you use a brush, use a cheap brush that you have, because it usually is ruined from the resin. There's no way to undo and get the resin out of it. Okay. There we go. Some on the mushrooms there. Boy, it's got a little bit of an odor. I didn't notice it that much before, but I guess mixing this, you get to notice it. Okay, I'm just getting this all covered in here. It'll look kind of like glassy right now too, but it's not even sealed, so until it seals, the main isn't done. Turn this over here. Almost looks like a clear glass green gooby river, but it'll be great once it seals. And then we can set the other thing back up on it. All right, so it looks like we may have another part. Hi, Mr. P1 Head 1. Nice to see you. If you haven't already subscribed, make sure you do. And don't forget to like and share. So I'm going to move this over here because this is going over here to the side now. Wow. Just going to get that in there like that. Oops, I forgot I still had some in here. So we'll just put that cup down into that cup. And we're getting this on top of the mushroom here. We're going to cover this mushroom too in the UV resin. I mean, not UV resin, 2-part resin, folks. This is 2-part resin. We're just covering it because it's going to have to sit 8 to 12 hours for this to set up. Like I said, you won't be able to see the bubbles because of the coloring and stuff. So it's not going to really make a big deal about bubbles. Just the mushroom cap here. Just trying to get it covered quickly as I can. I'm going to actually set it over there back on the cap, and I'm not doing the rest of the body. That'll be done last. But it'll seal and it will protect the mushroom and the grass. Well, I'm going to have to wipe up over there because this is just dripping everywhere because I'm slobbing it on. Wow. I just want to get it as even as possible. Wow. Patience is thy name. 8 to 12 hours, folks, for this to dry. Wow. And then I'm going to, wait a minute, I see a piece on here, see? There's like a little gap there and there. It should look fairly good when it's done. Wow. I'm just going to sit it right on top of there like that. You can see the stuff all over my hands. Luckily, I have some hand sanitizer back here that has alcohol in it. Yeah, normally I do wear gloves, but it's hard to work in them sometimes. So, I don't think that UV resin or even the 2-part resin is going to kill me. It just makes everything sticky. Yeah, there goes my boss kitty too. She's not happy because she's not allowed to get up here when I do all this, and she knows it. So she gets upset because she can't get up here. All right. Thank you, everybody, for being here tonight. I really appreciate that. So what I'll end up doing, I'm going to do everything I can right now. But I also will what? Put up the second part of this all dried and the way it should be. Hopefully people will come back to see it. Thank you everybody for being here. Unfortunately, this kind of resin does not dry like the UV resin does. The two-part resin takes up to 8 to 12 hours, sometimes longer. Anybody else working on any projects? And this is still going in the UV oven. Wow. See, and that's dripping. I should have known that it was gonna drip. So let's see here. Better it drips on this than down on that. Far out. Where do you live that you're ice fishing? Oh, crap. I knew that was going to happen. Darn it. Yeah, in Minnesota. So I imagine you guys got all that snow and ice too, really bad. We're just mainly getting sleet and ice and cold, frigid weather. I'm not sure if we're supposed to get a bunch of snow too. Hey, get out. So what kind of fish did you catch in the lake? Where you're ice fishing out there? Bass? Rainbow trout? I don't know. Bluegill? Wow, I know what they are. They're not very big, are they? I hope you got a bunch of them, unless they're huge old timers. If you're going to eat, you need a bunch. Let's see. Been years since I went fishing. I don't do any of that anymore. I'm looking, I guess. I'm going to take a piece of this paper here that I have. Cheap piece of school paper stuff, so I can lay it under this mushroom head here. Definitely not using my good paint and sketch paper. All right. Wow. Pick it up. And pull it over. Wow. Might as well get it all over my hands. It's already all over. Okay, now I'm going to take something and see if I can wipe off some of this. Because this will definitely set in 8 to 12 hours, and I don't want it setting on my tile. Wow. Thank you everybody for coming in here tonight. I really appreciate that. I just thought I'd get the resin on it, and then we only have one part left once that resin's done. which is to finish the trees up. But this takes 8 to 12 hours, so nobody's going to be stuck here for 5 or 6 hours. Wow. So you guys could walk out on your lake or whatever and fish without fear of breaking or cracking, huh? If you had that much ice, huh? Absolutely. I can remember going ice skating on my grandfather's lake when I was younger. Again. So I want to put some more of this resin on here because I see it not going where I think it should. Whoops. It's fine. That'll go in the trash. And where's my brush I was using? Right here. Just trying to get this as even as possible. And I'm afraid that because it is so cold, and even though I have my heat turned way up in my house, this part of the house doesn't seem to get as warm no matter what I do. I could have my heat sitting on 80 and it still wouldn't be super warm in this room. Wow. So I'm just trying to fill in the gaps here with this 2-part resin. And this is resin art, so it is a 2-part resin that I'm using to cover this. Thank you everybody for being here. I really appreciate it. And since I didn't want to make anybody have a long wait tonight about everything, even though I said it's part 6 of 2-part, now it's got another part coming to it because that resin has got to go until at least tomorrow. And this, by the way, is based off a real mushroom, even though you might see it in no, I do not get anything for saying Mario, but the mushrooms in the Mario game for Nintendo, I don't get anything for that either, even though I'm a Nintendo player. This is what they look like, the little red mushrooms with the white, which is really a fungus on the cap, and it's actually based on an actual mushroom that's super poisonous. But I understand there are people who actually eat them, that know how to cook them, even though they're poisonous. I guess that's sort of just like eating a blowfish or something, you know? Ah. Have you now? That's something. Out there? You have these out there? Bright red mushrooms with the white. Wow. Well, maybe they got here somehow. But they are definitely poisonous, and apparently you have to know how to cook them or do them in order to be able to eat them. And I love cooked mushrooms of any kind, but not if it takes a degree to cook it, you know, or I'm going to poison myself if I don't fix it just right. That is something that you have them out there in your area. Huh. I learned something every day. I was thinking maybe they were over in Japan or something. Yeah, I do. I do love them. I love cooking with them too. So, absolutely. Well, my hands are all sticky. I'm going to try to get some hand sanitizer on my hands, folks. See if I can get some of this resin off of them that I've got. And part of the reason the resin's dripping like that is because it is so darn cold. Oh, I believe that, Mr. P. I do believe that. But you have to be an experienced picker and stuff too to even go out and get fresh mushrooms to use in your own meals. So do you pick your own mushrooms and cook them, Mr. P? Wow. I'm trying to wipe some of this up too. I see there. I see little glitchies here. It's just going to have brush marks in it. Nothing I can do about it. Wow. I'm just trying to touch up some of these sides over here. Trying to make so you guys can see too what I'm doing. This will take 8 to 12 hours. Sometimes they say it can take up to 24. I'm hoping that's not the case. But I will know by the time I started tonight as to whether or not it's actually going to be like sealed by 7 o'clock, 7:45, possibly 8 o'clock because of when I started on this. All right. So I don't see Launch. He could be in here, and I just didn't see him. Is he in here, Will Hat? Thanks for welcoming everybody in, Will Hat. If you hear noise in the background, it's Boss Kitty. She's over there knocking stuff down because she's bored and she's not allowed to come over here when I'm doing this. Because as you can see, that two-part resin, which is this right here, the part A and part B, which I had to almost rip the tops off. Apparently the cap dried under them. So it's like a lake on top of this, as well as on the, trying to make sure you can see that, as well as on the top of the grass there. So that's going to have to harden up along with the mushroom. And whoops. Well, this pretty much has gotten there, but not quite. I used the UV resin on that. It's in the UV lamp here. So we're going to have to wait for this all to harden, including the mushroom. So here we go. We are going to have another part, and I'm thinking that I'm going to load it up without going live, but I don't know. If I do, I may just do a premiere of the ending of it and it'll show everything, and everybody can come in during the premiere then. So we have to wait for all this because it takes 8 to 12 hours, again, as I said, for 2-part resin to settle up. And I had to put a lot on that mushroom. That's why it's dripping all over this. That's why I put the paper here. And it has to do with it's cold in here, folks. Even though I've got my heat going and it's rolling right now, it's still cold in here. So the 2-part now is going to be part 3 of part 6. So that this will set up, and then we can go from there and finish the mushroom house. But I needed to use 2-part resin because I can't put this in the UV lamp. And it costs a lot more to use UV resin than it does 2-part resin, even though that's not cheap either. So, folks, I really appreciate everyone being here tonight. I really do. And I thank you all for sticking out, and for all my newcomers. Hear my cat, she's not happy. Yeah, I guess you could put wax paper under it. I just did this. It's actually not going through, believe it or not. And it won't, because the resin won't. It's just sitting there. It won't go through it. It won't go through the paper. It's not that kind of like, it's a different kind of liquid, resin is. So it's not going to go through the paper, and it's not going to stick. That just keeps the resin off the towel. So anyway, we will be back on the second part, and you will know if you have your button hit for the live or whatever. You'll know when I'm doing one or when a video's been uploaded. I'm not giving you exact time because I don't know, because this cold weather is affecting everything, including this fairy fay mushroom house, which has now gone into part 3 because I'm using the resin on it. But either way, the cold air would have kept this from progressing forward no matter what, even though I have the heat up. And it's really hot in here too, by the way, Will had. I turned the heat up to 75 and it's still cold. All right, Mr. P, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for sharing your fishing story. And thank you for being here for part 2 of part 6, which is now going to be part 3 of part 6, so that I can finish this up and that it looks awesome in the end. Hopefully it's going to look awesome. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Don't forget to thumb up the live. I really appreciate it. I do. And nobody suffered too badly tonight, even though we couldn't finish it. So I really appreciate everyone being here. I really do. Thank you so much. I think all the little mushrooms and everything are going to turn out really awesome, along with the arm rail to the walkway that's going to go to this. All right. Peace and love, everybody. Keep crafting. Keep arting. If you paint, if you draw, don't give up. Just keep doing it. You can do it. I promise you. This is just something I do for fun, and that's what I did. So part 3 of part 6 will be out in the next day or 2 to finish this off. And most likely I'll just do a premiere, which means you'll come in and I can type to you in the room. Hopefully I can see you in there, and you'll just see this in the background being done. All right. Thank you so much. Again, my name is Organic Silver Moon Designs. I'm a jewelry and a canvas artist. I appreciate everyone being here, all my regulars, all my newcomers. Take care. Good night for now. Keep crafting, keep arting. You can do this. All right. Good night, everyone.